everyone. Welcome back to Full Disclosure. Here are two of the chattiest Kathys here at Lodestar. My name is Elena. I'm joined by Jim, and we're going to have a great conversation today.
All right, we're going to roll right into our first segment here, which still needs an official title. The working title is What Grinds My Gears, or Soapbox Heroes. So this is where I invite Jim and Elena both to talk about things that are bugging them in and out of the industry.
I'm going to get started while you think of something.
I've
I've prepared something for you. So my war on pumpkin is going to continue for the second month in a row. So last month, for those of you who remember, and I got comments on this, I said it was August at the time when we were recording, and pumpkin everything came in too early, in my opinion. Now, my pet peeve and what's grinding my gears are things that should not be pumpkin flavored that are. So, Elena, I have a quiz of 10 things for you.
Okay.
And you need to answer, should it pumpkin?
Okay.
Does it need to be pumpkin flavored?
He was so prepared.
I printed it out and everything. I looked online. I did some research.
Okay.
So, does it pumpkin? Ready?
Okay.
Muffins or bread?
Yes.
I would agree. Beer?
I mean, I think I have to say yes.
I think for the most part.
For the most part, there's some bad ones.
Yeah. Cookies?
Oh, I'm going to go with yes, but it caveats.
Okay. These get more unhinged. So
I am imagining so.
Okay. Yogurt.
Someone's done it, but it shouldn't be done. I do it.
Someone has done every single one of these.
I will say
I have my receipt.
I mix pumpkin with yogurt for my dog because it's very good for them.
Yeah. Okay. Slurpee.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Chewing gum.
Again, with the no, I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't need to chew pumpkin spice.
Spam.
I know it exists, and that makes me sad.
These all exist. I'm telling you.
Makes me sad.
I have links. I looked it up.
I'm very sad that pumpkin spice exists.
Number 8, ramen. There's 10. There's 2 more after this. Ramen.
Again, ramen shouldn't pumpkin spice.
Yeah. Okay. Hummus.
I could make an argument if you're making like is dessert hummus a thing?
No.
Then
I
no.
mean, to have like pumpkin butter I didn't put on there, that's fine. Like there's pumpkin spreads that would work, but chickpeas and pumpkin
isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, then no.
Number 10, dish soap.
I think I'm okay with that. I like the scent of dish. I get pumpkin spice dish soap.
No, okay.
I buy pumpkin soap in the fall.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. I don't. Candles, I would say are totally okay.
Candles are okay.
Yeah, I feel like the strength is really like the cakes, muffins, like you should dessert type thing.
Yeah, don't put it in something
pumpkin
savory.
Pie. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
I think
you.
To lean into Jim's pumpkin thing, I think the one I've seen this online too is the underrated flavor of fall is apple. Like apple cider, apple donuts. Why do we not have more apple options?
That's true, because pumpkin's taking it over.
Pumpkin's taking it over. Also, maple. I think maple should be in more places in the Northeast because maple is one of the best flavors to ever possibly exist. And that might be the most New Englander take that I possibly could have.
We need more maple.
We need more maple.
That's fair.
I'm here to support apples and maple.
Yeah.
That's my soapbox.
Her grind gears is maple and apple's not getting their due.
They don't get their due because pumpkin comes in and like, why can't I have a nice little maple latte?
Yeah, but then you get like the parents who spend like $100 to go pick like 5 apples with their children.
Oh, well, the price of apple picking might actually have to be the thing here because it's insane. Where I grew up, we had a pick your own blueberry field. And I'm like, this is actually just child labor, but it's fine. You're paying for it.
It's the experience.
The experience is great.
Yeah.
For our next segment, we'll just ask you guys, what's the latest with Lodestar and Settlewise? We'd love to get a company update.
Things are going great. We've, had a good year before rate decreases, which we'll talk about in more depth at some point, but that's certainly helping business. I think things are exciting with that going on. There's a lot more coffee table mortgage conversations, which is always fun when those happen, cocktail party conversations, if you will. So that's good. Our Settlewise is growing quite a bit. We're adding folks to our Lodestar team and just kind of trying to stick the landing on a really good year.
Yeah, I mean, I think things are going really well. We're on pace from a sales perspective, which is always a great thing and not something that every sales leader gets to say right now. So I'm very grateful for that. And honestly, it's been great to see so many clients go live this year and see success with our tool. Because honestly, at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, is making lenders' lives easier and helping them with disclosures. And I just got to attend the TMC conference, actually, where I got to meet with a bunch of clients, and to hear the way that they're talking about a few of the things that we're working on that we'll release a little bit later, as well as, our current product, our customer support, and the team. It's been really optimistic. It's always great to hear from the
Mhm.
people who are using the tool every day.
Mhm.
How are we feeling leading up to conference season, particularly MBA annual?
Uh, Prepared, I think is the right word to say. I think we always do a big party at annual. So myself and our lovely marketing manager Fiona
Mhm.
have been working on it for months. And we actually had our prep call yesterday, and we were talking about it and realized, like, oh, we're a month out, and like we're pretty set, which is amazing to be in that position. So,
Mhm.
feeling really optimistic about annual. We haven't quite seen the attendee. I haven't looked at the attendee list or anything like that yet.
Mhm.
But it seems like there's a good cohort of people going.
Mhm.
And I think it'll be a good show. And Vegas is going to provide an interesting twist to
Yeah.
an event that's been in a big city, right, for
Yeah.
a few years. So I think it's going to be an interesting week.
Ready to walk a lot.
Yeah, we're going to
Even
walk.
that's always a heavy walking show, but it's going to
Mhm.
be like times 5.
Yeah.
Being in Vegas, I think things are gonna be a lot more spread out. I'm excited. I think NBA Annual has become my favorite show. It's crazy, but
Mhm.
everyone's there, so that's a nice part of it. Like partners, top clients, like there's just a wide breadth of things. So it's where I kind of take the most away of
Mhm.
like big picture what's going on. So I'm excited for some key takeaways, which maybe we'll share next month.
Seems like the time.
Well, now that we've had our Lodestar Company update, I would love to grab a vibe check on the mortgage industry writ large from you guys. How are mortgage industry professionals feeling now?
Yeah, I think coming back from a show, it's interesting to see. I think a lot of lenders are, and I said this towards the beginning of the year as well, is there was this sense of, if you haven't figured out how to survive in this market, you're gone. And I think we're just seeing a continuation of that, right? We're starting to see there's a lot of M&A action kind of happening as we come to the close of the year.
Mm.
With Union Home getting Sierra Pacific and all
Mhm.
of that, right? There's some big changes still happening, but I think a lot of it is gonna start to wrap up pretty soon, right? Like, there's definitely still a little bit of blood in the water in the sense of M&A action. Um, but it seems like the lenders that are still here, going to conferences,
Mhm.
engaged in the industry, they're here, right? They're here to stay. They are gonna mostly, I think
Mm.
the large majority of them,
Yeah.
right? I think will make it. It seems like a lot of them are making really heavy decisions right now about vendors as well.
Mhm.
It seems like a lot of lenders are reviewing their tech stacks and making decisions
Mhm.
about who's a true partner
Mhm.
and who's just someone else who's
Yeah.
who's in there.
I think for me, there seems to be a little bit of like a dissonance right now of like, there's so much, talk about lowering interest rates, what's going to happen. And I don't think that's really going to fix all of the woes going on. And the longer
Mm-mm.
term trends that you've seen, like companies struggling, getting out of the business, consolidation. I was at a title industry conference earlier this week for a little bit, and like, the everyone's still hurting, right? Like, I
Mhm.
don't think like, we'll see what a strong end of the year can to do that, to change that. But I think these long-term trends are not going to be offset from 6.0% interest rates,
Yeah.
right? So it's going to, I think right now it's kind of more of the same. And despite, some optimism around kind of headlines and rates going down a little bit, you know, I'm not sure exactly the magnitude of the change that's coming in the next few months.
Yeah, I don't think rates dropping is gonna be the silver bullet that some lenders think it's gonna be,
Yeah.
right? And I think if you're just sitting there holding on for that
Yeah.
rate to come
Yeah.
and not working on your business
Right.
and improving
Yeah.
your profitability, all those things, like,
Yeah.
you're still not
I
it's
mean,
not gonna
being at
solve
a
your
3-year
problems.
low is good. It's gonna help the purchase market. There's gonna be
Mhm.
a few refis coming through. We've seen it help both of our businesses.
You still have to be doing the work, right, to stay here, and you
Mhm.
have to be improving your business every day, and if you're not
Yeah.
doing the work, then, a rate drop, and yeah, you might get an influx of volume, but are you gonna survive the next time it goes up?
Yeah.
There was a Housing Wire article that came out recently, and it asked the question, is the rate cut already built into pricing? And this was before Powell's announcement the other day. What do you guys think about that?
I think a little bit, right?
Mhm.
I think we're obviously there's a lot of talk about the
Mm.
bond market. There's the jobs report came out
Mhm.
a
Seems
little
like
bit
there was a
prior.
little bit of the drop, but mainly from the fact that now they're forecasting 3 cuts
Yeah,
instead of 2. I don't think I was reading another Housing Wire article. I don't think it's going below 6 this year.
no.
It seems like there's enough headwinds in place that are going to affect that. So,
Yeah, and I think if you're trying to forecast what the rates are gonna do or what the Fed's gonna do,
yeah,
I think at this point, like, it's a stormy crystal ball, you can't really guess,
yeah,
right? And so even if we, plan for 3 rate cuts and anything like that, really anything could happen,
yeah,
right? I think we've seen
yeah,
that in the last year and a half. So it's really
mhm,
just about working on your
yeah,
business and
yeah. I think to your point, they were expecting that rate cut with a chance of a 50 basis point cut. So I think it was kind of priced in, but
yeah,
things are still trending. We'll see what happens. It's not something I'm jumping out of my seat about at the moment. So
rates will do what
it's
rates are
good.
gonna
Yeah,
do.
it's yeah,
Like, I think that's something, like, everyone just has to kinda, like,
yeah,
accept is, like, rates will be rates, and, like, we should be prepared, and
yeah.
yes, there at some point will be a big refinance boom, right? Like,
Right.
rates will drop, all of these people in 7s are gonna get
Yeah.
out of them, but we don't know when it's coming.
Yeah.
So, let's just
Right.
keep moving forward and
For it to get there, a lot of other bad things are probably going to happen.
yeah. I think the survive until 25 rhetoric very much was a thing, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like there was that sense at the beginning of the year at IMB of like, okay, well, it's 25. So you've survived, but now you have to thrive, right?
Hmm.
Um, and
We're
thriving,
millennials podcasting unless we say thrive at least once in an episode.
I mean, we'd be really letting ourselves down if we didn't. But I think at that the point is a lot of lenders are looking at their tech stacks, improving operational efficiencies.
Hmm.
AI is a really big buzzword, but
Yeah.
everyone's a little hesitant to use it, right? I don't think there's a survive mentality. If your mentality is to just survive in business, then you're not going
No.
to make it, right? Like that's kind of you have to be looking towards how do we continue to grow or maintain our business at least,
Hmm.
right?
This week on the Full Disclosure podcast, it's time for Jim's book club. Jim's got a book that he's been excited to share with us, and Jim, we are really excited to hear about it.
Thank you very much. So this one was a recent read this month. I think I've already bought a few copies. I'm
Mhm.
doing something differently and sending video snippets to our sales team from this book,
I
which is a
appreciate it.
little more digestible than reading a book. So this is $10 Million Money Models by Alex Hermosi. This
Mhm.
is his third book. He wrote books about sales before, about marketing. He's a really interesting, good follow. He's an entrepreneur, young guy, made a lot of money both running gyms and teaching people how to run and scale gyms. And now he and his wife, who you can see on the back here, um, are look like they spend a lot of time in gyms because I think they do. But they now run acquisitions.com that basically acquires and grows companies. So he
Mhm.
writes a lot about scaling companies. This has made me really kind of rethink different things across our business. They just talk about different, it's kind of in the weeds, but if you have any interest in running a business and starting a business, looking at like, how do we actually make money? If anything, it also will make you kind of aware of it as a consumer of,
Mhm.
there's 4 types of like offers that he talks about. Like there's an attraction sale or
Mhm.
attraction offer, like, a BOGO offer, a giveaway, other things that attract people. There's an upsell. Would you like fries with that?
Yeah.
Right. There's a downsell of like, okay, if you don't want this, how about our minimum version or how about our low cost insurance? Right. Then there's a continuity sale of how do you keep people coming back? So, like, when people are doing sales effectively, they're combining all 4 in some way. So I found it really interesting. I've got a lot of ideas out of this. I'm slowly integrating them into the business. I'm basically giving our sales team a chapter a week to look at in video form, and then we're talking about it. So really like this book. It also, they set a record. I think it was the largest selling nonfiction book in history. They actually beat Spare by Prince Harry. So take that.
I take that spare,
Take
right?
that,
Like,
Prince
sorry.
Harry. Yeah.
Sorry, it was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, to Jim's point, we've been watching these videos now for a few weeks, and first of all, the first thing I absolutely have to address is this man's arms.
Yeah.
They I was actually shocked on the back of this book. He is in a shirt, and I didn't realize that he could fit his arms into shirts with sleeves. So if you want to see that,
Yeah.
it's something. But also, I think he does have some really good takeaways, even though his arms are very distracting. And he's just got a whiteboard behind him, and they're blocking like half the whiteboard.
He's wearing a tank.
He's wearing a tank top. Like it's a whole
There's
thing.
like veins.
It's
a
he
lot.
pumped some iron before he started
Definitely.
filming those videos because
Yeah.
he had a way he wanted to look, and I respect it. It's just very distracting. But I think there's a lot of really good insights and challenges, and I think it definitely is. I think a little bit more. There's definitely some aspect of like a B2C angle
Yeah.
in the book. But I do think there's a lot of takeaways that you can make from a B2B standard. You just have to do some modifications and kind of think about how it works within regulations and all of that stuff, right? Like there's always B2B is always a little bit more of a complex sale, I think, than a B2C transaction, even though B2C I think is harder to gain the attention, right, of your consumer. But it's been really I've enjoyed the videos a lot, and maybe I will consider reading the book. I think every month this is going to be Jim pitching me a book that maybe I'll read.
That's okay. I think I found a better balance with books where every time I read a good business book, I don't try to throw the baby out of the bathwater and change everything we're doing. It's more like, how can we integrate, some of these ideas into it? So I was told to slow my roll with all of that. So
yeah. And I think the book club kind of element has been good and kind of challenging our team to think a little bit differently about how we handle some of our processes from a sales perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Full disclosure, it's always fun to sit down and chat with Jim and with our lovely producer, Tim. If you liked this podcast, please like, subscribe, find us on LinkedIn, find us on YouTube. So you can stream that or stream it wherever you get your podcasts. Actually, it's everywhere. Everywhere in the podcasting world.
Full disclosure, all of the load with your 2 favorite stars.
That's spectacular.